today's topic is population. What is population? Population refers to the number of people living in an area at a given point of time. Now, India is a developing country. India has 17.5% of the world population but occupies only 2.4% of the world's land area. According to 2011 census, India's population was 121.02 crores. India ranks second in the world in population next to China. In India, population is measured once in every 10 years. 1872 has been popularly labeled as the first population census of India. Population statistics are compiled and published by the Office of Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India. What is population? Population is the term typically used to refer to the number of people living in a region, area. Governments conduct a census to quantify the size of resident population within a given jurisdiction. Now, government conducts census every 10 years to know the number of people living in a region or a country. Thomas Robert Malthus who was an English economist and demographer born in 1766, was widely regarded as father of population. He was best known for his influential work, An Essay on the Principle of Population, published in 1798. Population is the number of people that live in a country. It counts the resident population, defined as all nationals present in or temporarily absent from the country and aliens permanently settled in the country. Factors responsible for increase or decrease in population. There is a constant change in the population of a region. Sometimes there is a decrease in population and at other times there is an increase in population. This increase or decrease is related to certain factors. The factors are shown below. First is birth rate. What is birth rate? Birth rate is the number of live births per 1000 people in a year is known as the birth rate. Now, what can be the causes of high birth rate? Illiteracy, universalization of marriage, son meta preference, joint family system, lack of awareness about family welfare services, etc. are some of the causes of high birth rate in India. Second is death rate. The number of deaths per 1000 people in a year shows the death rate. Now, causes of low death rate. Improvement in medical facilities, decline in maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate, increase in literacy, disaster management, etc. can be the causes of low birth rate in India. Third is life expectancy. What is life expectancy? The average lifespan of an individual expected in an area at the time of birth is known as life expectancy. Fourth is migration. The movement of an individual or a group out of an area or into an area is called migration. Now, why do people migrate? People migrate in search of jobs, for better living, etc., which increases population in a certain area and decreases population in some other area at the same time. When people move into a region from outside for residence, it is called migration. And when people move out of a region for a residential purpose, it is called outmigration. All the above factors affect the population growth. The difference between the birth rate and the death rate is clearly responsible for the natural changes in the population. Similarly, the migration of an individual or a group constantly results in the change of population. The unchecked growth of population puts pressure on the resources of a region. On the other hand, a controlled growth of population will lead to the availability of resources in the right proportion. A controlled population is an indicator of the development of a region. Distribution of population. Now, how the population is distributed in a particular area. Population distribution refers to the pattern of how people live across the world and how the density of the people varies across a given region, given area. Population distribution can be measured by population density, which is the number of people per square mile or square kilometer. Population distribution is a measure of how spread of a population is in any given area. The simplest way to measure population distribution is to calculate the percentage of a population over a specific geographic area. For example, 40% of the United States population resides along the coastline. Now, factors affecting population distribution. There can be many factors affecting population distribution. These are divided into 4 types. First is physical factors, economic factors, political factors, and social factors. Let's see them one by one. Physical factors. In that, first is location. Location with favorable climate will tend to be more densely populated than the regions with unfavorable climates. So location with favorable climate tend to be more densely populated as food can be produced and it provides a more comfortable environment to live in there. Second is climate. Second factor under physical factors is climate. Now, how can climate affect the distribution of population in a region? Climate affects population distribution both directly as well as indirectly through its effects on soil, vegetation, and agriculture that have direct bearing on the pattern of population distribution. Third factor is soil. If the soil is rich and fertile, the population density is often high as people are able to yield good crops. If the soil is thin and unproductive, few people will live in that area. Fourth is mineral resources. Regions with abundant mineral deposits attract more residents. In India, Chota Nagpur Plateau in Jharkhand and nearby areas of Odisha have a high population due to extensive mineral resources. Now moving to economic factors. First factor under economic factors are markets. In a market-oriented economic system, the impact of population size on market demand affects supply and demand and prices. Current market demand reflects the effect of supply and demand in previous periods. Current population size will affect future market demand through prices and supply elasticity. Second is industry. Industrial areas offer employment opportunities. A large number of people make their way into these areas. Therefore, the population in these areas gets more and more. Example, Mumbai in city and Osaka in Japan. Third is urbanization. Urbanization occurs mainly because people move from rural areas to urban areas and it results in growth in the size of population, urban population, and the extent of urban areas. These changes in population lead to other changes in land use, economic activity, and culture. Last is transport. Transportation and population are related as transportation networks such as highways and railways influence the spatial distribution of population, with people preferring to move to areas with good transportation. Political factors. Wars. Wars can impact population distribution in a place by causing significant population movements, which can lead to a decrease in density in some areas and an increase in others. Second factor under political factors is political instability. Government policies. Government policies. Policies that promote reduction in fertility levels, banning of infanticide, etc., also influence the population growth in a place. For example, China's strict enforcement of one-child policy succeeded in curbing fertility levels and controlling population. Race. Social factors. First factor under social factor is race. How can race affect population distribution in a region? Race. High income black people may live in whiter neighborhoods than they would otherwise, while poor black people are racially isolated. Black people are also more likely to live in high poverty neighborhoods and high segregation areas. Second is religion. Places with religious or cultural importance can attract more people. Language. People often choose to live in areas where they can find others who share their language, culture, and food preferences. Fourth is tradition. People often move to areas where their cultural group is dominant, which can lead to population growth in some areas while decrease in others. Density of population and structure of population. Density of population. Population density is a measure of population per unit land area. It is mostly applied to humans but sometimes to other living organisms too. It is a key geographical term. Density of population is equal to population of a region upon area of a region. The ratio of a population of a country to its area is population density. Population structure refers to the organization of individuals within a population and can be studied in a number of ways: genetics, demographics, evolution, subdivision, transportation and infrastructure, etc. Structure of population. Population structure refers to the organization of individuals within a population and can be studied in a number of ways: genetics, demographics, evolution, subdivision. It is the number of males and females in different age groups. Now, first is genetics. In genetics, population structure is the presence of systematic differences in frequencies between subpopulations. This can be caused by non-random mating. Demographics. In demographics, population structure can refer to demographic character of population, population density, and the density and dispersal of groups within the population. Evolution. In evolutionary biology, population structure can refer to the extent to which individuals within a species share a common evolutionary and reproductive history. Subdivision. Population structure can also refer to the subdivision of a population into smaller populations, which are often called as component populations. Population is subdivided in various categories. Groups. There are various groups which divide population, such as male, adolescent, illiterate, children, unemployed, infants, literate, rural, working population, urban, female, old, young, dependent population, adult, etc. Sex, age, rural, urban, literacy, productive population. Population can be subdivided as per groups given above. These subgroups and their relationship with one another can be studied in the structure of population. Next is sex ratio. Sex ratio means number of females per thousand males. As per the gender, population can be divided into males and females. This is natural division which can be easily understood. In a population, when both the genders are around the same number, it indicates a balanced proportion. In population studies, the ratio of men and women is considered important. The ratio is calculated as total number of females upon total number of males into 1000. When for every 1000 males the number of females is less, the sex ratio is said to be low, and when for every 1000 males the number of females is more, the sex ratio is said to be high. The third point is age structure. In a region, when the population is subdivided as per the age groups, this is called the age structure of the population. age structure is useful for the projection of population and for understanding the dynamics of the age structure arrangement. Similarly, it also helps in understanding the proportion of active and dependent population. In India, the productive population is the population between the ages of 15 and 59. This age group of people is active in service and business. They directly participate in the economic activities of a region. In regions where the proportion of this population is more, especially youth development is rapid. The dependent population falls into two subgroups. The people below 15 years of age are totally dependent on the productive population. People above 60 years also fall in the dependent category, but their knowledge and experience make them a valuable asset to the whole society. Fifth is occupational structure of the population. The population of a region can be classified into working and non-working groups. These people who are not in jobs or professions despite being in the productive age groups come under the non-working group. This non-working group is dependent on the working group. If the proportion of working population is higher in a region, then the population is termed as industrious. Such a region has rapid development. Sixth is migration. Migration, as we all know, moving from one place to another in search of job or residence. So, the movement of an individual or a group from one place to another is termed as migration. This could be for a short period of time or long period of time or permanently. Marriage, education, business, transfer, tourism, natural calamities, wars, etc. are the reasons why people migrate. There are many kinds of migration. Regions from where people migrate show fall in population. Such regions experience a shortage of manpower. On the other hand, the areas to which they migrate show an increase in population and a strain on the public amenities and facilities. Due to migration, the composition of the population also changes. Last is literacy. In society, some people are literate and others are illiterate. In our country, a person who can read and write is termed as literate. This definition can vary from one country to another. The percentage of literacy throws light on the quality of the population. People above the age of 7 can be classified into literates and illiterates. Literacy is an indicator of social and dynamic development of a society. If the percentage of a country is below 20, then it is considered as illiterate country. The second, key dimensions of Human Development Index. Human Development Index, HDI. HDI is living a long and healthy life, being knowledgeable and having a decent standard of living. Therefore, the three indicators of HDI are long and healthy life, knowledge, standard of living. The Human Development Index holds an important place in the study of human conditions related to international economic development. Today, it is commonly accepted that only economic prosperity does not mean development. This is not just the expectation of individuals but also of a region of a country. The Human Development Index is used as a yardstick to measure regional development. While computing the index, three main parameters have been considered, as I mentioned earlier. Long and healthy life, that is economic parameter, standard of living, knowledge and standard of living.